because you mentioned equality, and I guess equality and equity are synonymous, not the same.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I would like to kind of get a sense of equity, because equality is a long-term view. How do you get equity now?
Sure. Okay. Well, I think we have to just define what systemic racism is. I think that systemic racism, more than systems of redlining and things that, for the most part, not every place, Portland, Oregon still has a huge LGBT community that does not allow Black people to move into their community. There are areas that still have redlining. But I think that we have to look at what it really is. And to me, the most systemic thing that we have are white liberal teachers teaching our children, having that low expectations, being trained in equity trainings that African American kids can't do as well. Hearing that we need to lower the bar, having Bill Gates doing things like, I want to call it halfway, so if you quote me, sorry, I'll probably be wrong on that, but Bill Gates has a program on math that more deals with racism in math than it does in actual math. Now, I work at a school that is one of the highest rated schools in Utah. We are a classical education school, and we do not believe in denying access to any child. So what we have in our school is we break out into 26 different rooms for math. We do the same thing for reading. We break out, I think it's about 26, but throughout the day, 2 separate things. So K through 3rd, and then 3rd through 6th. We break out into these rooms so that every single child gets the chance to achieve on their own level. We don't look at race when we're making this decision. We are looking at what is it that this child needs. So that is a lot different than, say, when I was in school, having a math teacher say, oh, well, Cari, we know you're in foster care and you've had a hard life, so if you can get a C on this one paper, we'll pass you for the rest of the year. It is a lot different than asking my favorite teacher when I was in high school, hey, I'm about to graduate and age out of foster care. Who should I vote for? And for her looking at me and saying, oh, that's easy, you're Black and you're poor, you're a Democrat. That right there was the changing moment for me, the moment when I realized I don't want to be poor forever. I want something more for myself. And I realized that systemically, there's a group of people who have been taught to think less of me simply because of the way that I look. Not because of my intelligence, because I was freaking smart, just like I am now. But simply because of the way that I look. And there's so many opportunities that aren't taken because African Americans are taught to believe less of themselves. They are taught to hate themselves. They are taught that if you go out and try to achieve, that you are somehow betraying your community. These are the problems. This is true systemic racism. When we tell a person, don't try, that's not what we do. When we teach little boys that, you want to play basketball, or worse, crack, right? When we teach them that this is their future. We don't have to be teaching that to our children. We could teach our children. When I have a little kid who walks into my class, I have a classroom of first graders. And if I said to my little kids, if I see like the little Vietnamese boy, because yes, we do see color. We see all color. I know how many of you, well, almost
just
all
seeing color isn't necessarily
a bad thing. It's not. So if I see a child and I say, oh, well, yes, Johnny, you can totally achieve, but Shaniqua, there's no chance for you. And we don't say it that bluntly.
Shaniqua would be white in Utah, by the way. If we say to these children that you can't, or if we believe something in them that is different, if we don't love them equally, then we are doing a disservice to them. And it goes the opposite way too. If we say, oh, you need war services because this is who you are, we're still being racist. That is still racist.
We need to look at each person as an individual and not deny anyone access to the great conversation. And that is what we do when we bring SEL and DEI into our schools. We're denying, we're taking time of our precious, precious time that we have with our kids. And instead we're saying, let's talk about your feelings. Guess what? That's what therapy's for. That is not what school's for. School is that they get to be part of the great conversation, that just because they grew up in a single parent household, just because there was sexual abuse, just because their parents are in prison, and that, honestly, when you think crack, quite frankly, I think of the white little meth kids. That's what I think of because I was a foster parent. And that's what we got was a lot of little white meth kids. So when you think about these kids and you just automatically project something, I honestly feel bad. I feel bad that that's the first thing that you think, because that's self-hatred in my opinion. To think that that's the first thing someone thinks about you. I don't believe that way. I look at a person and I think, you know, oh, they're interesting, they have cool shoes, whatever. I've seen enough to not project on other people.
So I want to give a question. We got 15 minutes. So